cause you know we gon' talk about it. Let's talk about it. Get in here, we in here tonight. So get in here, we in here to vibe.
Hey, everybody. Let me know if you guys can hear my voice. Let me know if you guys can hear me. A thumbs up or we can hear you in the chat will do. I see yes. Is that yes, you can hear me? Okay, yes, you can hear me. Okay, loud and clear. Okay, thank you so much. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Talk About It with Amoira. I have my disclaimer, my little small disclaimer going across the bottom. Basically, it says everything I say on this page is allegedly, okay? I'm definitely not trying to defame nobody's character. That's not what we do over here, okay? That's not what we do over here. So I have that going across the bottom. Welcome, 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 everyone. If you have not hit that thumbs up button, please do this and share the live stream. We received some news today that, hey, we will be staying on top of this story from now on until it ends, okay? Every little update I will be providing on this channel, all right? So if you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell so that you know when I am about to go live. I will be discussing this story in its entirety. All right. So, and I also want to put this out to everybody because I know everybody in my audience, even my loyal supporters, everybody is not on the same, don't see this story the same. And I just want to say it's okay. We are adults. We can agree to disagree. But what we're not going to do, and I'm just asking everybody to respect this one thing, and that is not get belligerent or outraged with anyone in the comments. People are free to have their opinion. Okay? Everybody don't see things the same. But what I will be doing, I will be covering this story with facts. So I'm just asking you, if you don't mind, kind of put your emotions aside when we speak facts. Okay? Now, I do have a hashtag, Fair Case for Holly. I will have this hashtag, Fair Case for Holly, in every live I do moving forward since she has been charged. Okay? She's officially been charged with first-degree murder. We want to go over that. And actually, there's a lot I want to go over, and we'll be going over it in a minute. But I want everybody to know that this hashtag is in no way, shape, or form to be a slap or a disregard for Romeca's life. That is not what we're trying to do here. This is not oh, I don't care about a Romeca hashtag. No. Fair case for Holly means that, of course, in America, I was going to say the state of America, but in the country of America, everybody is considered innocent until proven guilty. Until proven guilty. So it does not mean that the fair case for Holly means that she's automatically innocent. It does not mean that we are dragging the victim or any member of her family. And it does not mean that we're picking sides. We're talking facts, okay? Now, let me tell you what it does mean. Fair case for Holly means no assumptions, no trial by social media, no jumping to conclusions, no emotional reactions. No one is guilty until proven guilty. The public deserves transparency on both sides. The legal system must follow the facts, not emotions. And last but not least, Holly deserves the same rights as any defendant here in America. Okay? Here in America, she deserved the same rights. So with that being said, I will be hashtagging Fair Case for Holly from here on out. From here on out. Now, for those that want justice for Romeca, they are welcome to hashtag justice for Romeca in my comments. I am not discriminating. And even though I'm not taking a side, I will tell you guys, because most of you guys already know, that I do not believe that this is a first-degree murder case. From everything that has been put out so far, because we're going to find out more stuff real soon, right? But from what has been made public and from me interpreting the law, I believe that this will be a self-defense case. But y'all already know how Amoira rolls. If I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong. But I am hoping and praying for a fair case for Holly, okay? All right, fair case for Holly. So let's get into this. What are we going to be talking about? So what do we know right now? The new details that was released today. Now, it was released by a reporter. I think her name is Tia. We're going to listen to that right quick. She actually said that she had direct contact with the state attorney's office. So let's put this up right quick. I think it was on her Facebook page. Hold on, let me go to her Facebook page right quick. Give me a second, because I got two different clippings, but let me just put this one. She had a call, a direct call from the state attorney, and told her that they were going to be charging her with first degree. So let's play that one. And then we will get into, we will break down more things. So let's put this up first. Give me a second. I don't like the way it's showing right there. Here we go. All right, so we're going to put this up. We're going to hear, I want to say Tia Irwins is her name. Tia Irwin. What is it? Yeah, Irwin. Okay, all right, so turn your volumes up. Let's listen to hers, and then we will move forward. It's about 15 minutes. I may stop and say something here and there and then get right back into it, but I definitely want to put her story out because she is the one that basically broke the news as Holly was being charged. Okay, here we go. Turn up your volumes.
I'll wait for you guys to. This is asking for me to do a indeed true. So we are working on updating that article that I posted. So that is why I have it there. What happened, let me kind of walk you through what's transpired. So I was working on something completely different. There is a Justice for Romeca Blackmon page that exists on social media. And I have been tagged in that several times asking for me to do another story. Well, there was no update to provide for another story, so I took it upon myself.
Okay, and you're right, Shay Ski. You're right, because I have listened to it. So let me just say that before we move on. Now, even though this is a reporter, she's still human, and human make mistakes. So thank you for pointing that out. When she speaks on the restraining order, in a few seconds, in a few minutes, just know that that information is incorrect. Okay. So she belongs to a hashtag Justice for Romeca group. And a lot of the information that she's going to speak about is coming from that group. So she is incorrect about the restraining order, not about Romeca not knowing about it and stuff like that or whatever. You will hear her say that, but just know that is not true, because I already proved it here on my channel that Romeca very much knew about the restraining order. Hell, she was in court in June. So disregard that. And I'm not going to say disregard. Just know that that information is incorrect. And I just hope that because she is a reporter and say that she's been a reporter for a while, that she would just come out and correct that information once she gets whole. You know, once she finds out that the information that she put out is incorrect. Okay. So thank you, Ski, for bringing that up in the comments. All right, let's continue.
To then make sure that I did the work of the people, which is to ask the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, is there any updates on this case? I actually did get a response. And in fact, I posted that response in this group yesterday. And it basically said what I heard back, that they were still investigating, that there was no new news. Well, at approximately 3:25 today, I got a phone call from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office on my personal cell phone that I use also as my work phone to say that Quadeja Holly Johnson has indeed been charged and will appear in court tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. So this is not made up. This is not fabricated. This is directly from the source in which I received the phone call. Over the course of September, when this happened, September 8th, I think is the exact date when this happened, I did do a story later on in the month of September with the family of Romeca, went to their home, sat down with them, talked to them. I also heard from family and advocates of Quadeja Johnson saying that, you know, she wanted to clear her name. Apparently she had gotten a lawyer, and I told that person that, you know, she wants to clear her name, and, you know, she's saying that it was the other way around, that she was the person that was being stalked, et cetera, that this platform, Fox 32, would be available for her to be able to speak. That never happened. I never had the opportunity to interview Quadeja and hear her side of things, but that is what I know was the circumstances. And in fact, the family member told me that she was instructed from her lawyer not to speak, to let this play out, but I still left that door open for the, you know, the possibility, the probability that she may want to come here at Fox 32 and air out what she felt was, you know, wrong for people to keep saying that she deserved to be charged. With that being said, since that airing of my story, which I think was September 23rd, was the very first time I personally had a hand in telling the story of Romeca Blackmon, telling the story of her son who's left behind, whose birthday was literally coming up, I think the day after that interview. I have stayed on top of finding out if charges were coming. Because one of the questions people had is, how do you just shoot somebody like that, you know, based on what witnesses saw? Some witnesses did not want to come forward, and I think in part because maybe they knew it would be a day that they would have to tell what they saw in court. Understandably, you don't want to talk to the news if you're going to be in a witness box. And so, yes, it is indeed true.
Now, I agree with what she just said. You don't want to talk to the news if you're going to be a witness. Hence why I said what I said about the witnesses that jumped up on panels and said things that they said. You don't do that. Credible witnesses don't do that. Okay. All right, let's continue.
That at 3:25 p.m. today, I received a call from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, one of their spokespersons who's been there for years, who said, hey, I'm calling you because she has been charged. I know you've been emailing pretty much on a weekly basis. I'm giving it to you now, letting you know what's happening. So yes, it is true. The article that is linked is currently old. That article will be updated, and that's why I linked it, the previous story. But if you stay with that previous story, you will see here shortly, as our web team is working to update that story so that the new information is out there. This is breaking news. And as you know, in a breaking news situation, a lot of times things are still developing. And in this case, this has not been written up. What I can tell you is that I did indeed just take to air the information that was provided to me from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, and it did go on TV. So they're updating that news article online, like I said, at this minute. She is charged with first-degree murder. The details of what has, you know, transpired between now, you know, when it happened and now, and what they found out will be forthcoming. We do see, which I think is very interesting. Let me tell you this information that we did just get. Our assignment editor here at the station did just send me, the sheriff's office put out some information about, you know, trying to serve, let me go through this real quick. So they did attempt to, deliver what they say are order of protections from the plaintiff, which was Quadeja Johnson, to Romeca Blackmon. And they made an attempt on July 14th of 2025 to serve her, July of 15th of 2025.
See, this is the information that I'm talking about. What she's saying right now is not factual information. She said, she just stated that she's reading something that she got from a sheriff office, but then she's gonna say that she's belonged to this Romeca, Justice for Romeca group. I don't believe that she got it from I'm just saying it. I don't believe she got it from a sheriff's office because they wouldn't give out. I don't think a sheriff office would give out this false information that she's about to release.
I'm unsuccessful, all of these. July 16th, July 18th, August 14th, and then October 2nd, which we all know she was not alive then. So all of these details, I'm sure, will come out in court. All of these details will be interesting to see, you know, what did the Cook County State's Attorney's Office find out, you know?
See, I don't know why she just brushed by that, but you heard her say that they said they tried to attempt to serve Romeca with a restraining order on October the 2nd, okay? October the 2nd, she wasn't even alive, so I don't even know why this reporter would even repeat that. Maybe she should have read her notes before she started reading. I mean, before she put it out. I don't know, but yeah, she is a real reporter. She is, but this didn't come from no sheriff office. Okay.
August 14th, and then October 2nd, which we all know she was not alive then. So all of these details, I'm sure, will come out in court. All of these details will be interesting to see, you know, what did the Cook County State's Attorney's Office find out, you know, since September. So September, October, November, here we are 2 months late, 3 months later, almost, pretty much 3 months later, almost 3 months to the day, by towards the end of this week, almost midweek, or I should say, yeah, between now and next week, almost literally 3 months to the day, September, October, November, December. What did they find out in that time that changed all of this? So yes, we did receive this information. We, again, are updating our website. This is not a joke. This is not a game. This is pretty much, you know, I wouldn't go to air with something like this and it's not true. And I don't play about, you know, someone being charged, except that's not a game to me. My job in covering deaths, killings, murders, injustices, that's not something that I play with. So I would never post something like that without it being true. And in fact, the article is updated. And so I will have that update in that previous article that many of you have already clicked on. So if you stay with it, that will be updated here soon. So no, I don't play about stuff like that. You know, I take my job seriously and I stayed on top of this case because honestly, to be truthful with you, many of you were responsible for that because you were emailing me consistently to make sure that I did. And so that's my job. That's my job for you to call me out and say, hey, did you email? Hey, what did you find out? And I don't have a problem with that. And in fact, I'll tell you, let me go through this. I'll give you the actual dates of emails in which I started email, and then I got to run. Because I emailed about a lot of different things. So I want to make sure I'm telling the absolute truth about everything. Okay, so I emailed the day I did the story. Then I emailed September 30th saying, hey, good afternoon. I'm emailing to see if you can confirm if Kodeja Holly Johnson has been charged. Had not happened. Emailed again saying, hey, good afternoon. Any updates on this? That was October 8th. Emailed right before in early November. Any updates on this case? No updates. And then I emailed again on Monday because of you guys, which was December 1st. You asked the question in this group, calling for justice. You guys emailed and said, hey, any updates? You guys were asking me to see if there were any updates. And I emailed and said, Happy holidays. Any updates on this case? I have received an absorbent amount of emails and posts on this today from supporters. And that was on the first that I sent the email. I got a response on the first, but did not see it. It was in my email at 1:47 p.m., but for whatever reason, I did not see it. And it said this: no, Tia, hey, Tia, hi, Tia, no updates, still a continuing investigation, hope all is well. And that was the last correspondence. I responded on Tuesday, which was yesterday, saying, thank you as always, happy holidays. And then today, that person who I also have a cell phone for called me from their cell phone to let me know what I'm presenting to you today. That charges, a charge of murder, first-degree murder, has been imposed against Quadeja Holly Johnson and the death of Romeca Blackmon. So that is how it all transpired. I believe in being very transparent. I have nothing to hide about this. I believe as a reporter, my job is to work for the people. I know a lot of reporters don't work like that. They get all caught up in, being on TV. That doesn't mean anything to me. I would do this job if I was never on TV, because I believe in working for the people, whatever that looks like. If you get a tax bill that's wrong and it's ridiculous and it doesn't make sense, call Tia Ewing up. I'm cool with that. If you see something, you're driving down the street and you see it and police say it's something different than what you saw, call me. If you want me to press an agency because they're not getting back to you because they feel like you're a nobody, call me. I will have that microphone and camera in their face in no time. So I got into this to make sure that I'm a soldier for the people. I have no problem with that, because that's what I got into it for. I believe this is public service. And yes, it is a job presented in a public platform on TV, but I work as a public servant. Without people, supporting you on the news, giving you stories, holding you accountable, then you don't have a job. So I have no problems with being posted in the page. And like I told you guys from the beginning, no, I can't bring charges. That's not something I can do. I'm not a lawyer. I don't work for the Cook County State's Attorney's Office.
I have no idea why she's saying all of this, because I don't know nobody out here that's trying to accuse her of just bringing fake charges. I don't know where all this is coming from. I don't want to judge this lady or even try to discredit her, but I just don't understand the coverage. But let's just continue it's only got a couple more minutes left. I don't understand it, but let's just, because for this to be breaking news, it sounds a little personal, but let's listen. Oh.
And the same way that I gave the family of Romeca Blackmon a platform, I would love to hear what Quadeja Holly Johnson has to say for herself. I would love to hear it. I'm very curious to know what she has to say for herself and what has happened during all of this time. So I've only heard from family from her. I've never heard from her directly. And I do know that she has a lawyer. I also know that she apparently has a concealed carry. So that may have played into this. But again, we will find all of this out in court at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here in the Chicago area. She will be in court tomorrow. So if you watch this later and you're watching this back, you're like, what's happening? Tomorrow here in the Chicago area is Thursday. 11 a.m. she will be in court, and there are no cameras allowed in the courtroom. So anything that happens, a reporter has to be in that courtroom to hear it. And then lawyers, et cetera, family usually comes out and talk after the fact. So that is what we know. That's the information. And by the way, the state's attorney's office would never call me to say someone is charged and they don't know it. Now, I will tell you, I called the family right away to let them know they had not heard about this yet. I broke that news to them. There were tears. There were tears over the phone about this. So that is what we know. We do not have a mugshot yet for her. And when I say for her, I'm talking about Quadeja Johnson. We don't have a mugshot of her yet. We called the Chicago Police Department and contacted the Cook County Sheriff's Department. But usually if you have a court date of 11 a.m. and they've already set that, you're usually already in custody. So we will see what happens. This is a story that we'll watch very closely. I will post the link to our current story in this video. But if you haven't seen it yet, you can go up above this video right here and you'll see, actually it will be below, correction. The story will be below and you will be able to see it. So go check it out. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know there were a lot of questions. You felt like you were left in the dark, and hopefully I was able to fill in those gaps for you. Have a great day. I'm just doing the work of the people. That's it. That's all. this is true. This is not a farce. And I hope you guys have a amazing rest of your day.
Okay. All right. So she said a lot, but a little, but basically she broke the news that Holly Johnson, Kadasia Johnson, has been charged with first-degree murder. Okay. She has been charged. She is currently in custody. Okay. So we found this information out, and to be honest with you, like first degree, we're gonna go over all of that, okay? To me, that's a big charge. That is I mean, y'all know first degree is, well, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into first degree. So let's talk about the new details. Well, we just heard one, right? So she said the secretary, the attorney general or whoever contacted her saying that they will be charging her with first degree murder for the shooting in September of this year of Romeca Meeks. Okay. So the prosecutor alleged Holly shot Romeca during a confrontation outside a school at a drop-off. Was really near a school, but it says outside. I'm reading what they wrote, her channel, this Tia lady channel wrote, okay? They claim to have evidence that supports filing the charges now, though they have not released what those evidence are. All right. The article confirms that Holly was originally taken into custody and later released with no charge at that time, but they still said it was under investigation. So that meant that the prosecutor could reopen or reassess the case, and then they did and decided to they claim they got evidence or whatnot to support the more serious charge. All right. Now, right now, we only know the charge, which is first degree murder. We're going to get into first degree in just a second. We do not know the evidence which supports a first degree. The state has only publicly revealed so far, not only, they have not revealed witness statements, video footage, forensic details, the motive, because they has to have a motive, and Holly's statement. They have not released that to the public, okay? So with that being said, we're not going to speculate. We're going to speak on facts. But let's go into what first degree murder requires in the state of Illinois, all right? First degree requires in the state of Illinois. They must prove all of these, all right, that the defendant performed the act that caused the death, okay, that the defendant either intended to KI the person or knew their actions created a strong probability of death or great bodily harm. And then the third one, the defendant was not acting in self-defense. So they must prove that she was not acting in self-defense, that she intended to KI, or she knew her actions could strongly cause a death or great bodily harm. And then they must prove that the defendant performed the act of what caused the death. All right. So far, with just those three, what we know is, number one, that Holly Johnson did perform the act that caused Romeca Meeks' death, or actually it's Romeca Blackmon death. But what we do not know, and what the state has to prove, the prosecutor has to prove, was this her intent? Did she intend to kill Romeca Meeks? Or did she know shooting Romeca Meeks could cause her to be unalived or cause her great bodily harm? And then last but not least, the state has to prove, was she acting in self-defense? All right. Now, Illinois does not require premeditation for first degree murder. All they need is intent in the moment, no planning. So that's very important, because some states do require premeditation. Illinois do not require premeditation to charge somebody for first degree, but they do have to prove intent in the moment. Okay. Was that her intentions? Did she intend to unalive Romeca Meeks? Okay. All right. Now, let's also go into whether the known evidence supports this first degree charge. Known evidence. When I say known, I'm not talking about speculation. I'm not talking about assumptions. I'm talking about known evidence. Known evidence, meaning what has been put out in the public that we know to be factual. Okay. So the public still has not seen any evidence that prove intent. None. No evidence whatsoever. The confrontation happened fast. It was during a fight, which complicates intent. Okay. Witness accounts have not been released, even though we have heard some witnesses go on social media and speak to other bloggers. But we don't know if that's the same story in which they have told the detectives, okay, or the prosecution. So witness accounts has not been released. Official witness accounts, let me say official. Official witness accounts has not been released. No detailed forensic analysis has been made public. No timeline clarifying who initiated the confrontation in public, because as we know, everybody that has put out a timeline, even myself, was all based on, you know, what a witness said or what we may have heard from someone else, but it has not been official, okay? No official timeline clarifying who initiated the confrontation has been made public. And Holly's self-defense claim has not been publicly refuted by evidence, okay? Which means Holly has not made a statement. Holly's lawyer has not made a statement, okay? So right now, based off public information, there is no clear evidence showing Holly intended to KI Romeca, all right? So that is why the title of my live stream tonight is, was Holly Johnson overcharged with first degree murder? Was she overcharged with first degree? Because that's what they charged her with, first degree, not second, not manslaughter. They charged her with first degree murder, which means that she intended to unalive Romeca Meeks, okay? That's what the state is trying to prove, or I will have to prove, should I say, all right? So hence the question, was she overcharged? All right, let's go over self-defense in the state of Illinois. We did that before. I'm going to do it again now that we know that she has been charged with first degree. In the state of Illinois, to claim self-defense, Holly must have believed that she or her child, and that's why I have her child in the picture here. Hold on a second. Because her child is involved in this case, like not directly, but indirectly, all right? Because her child was there in the back seat of the car when this incident occurred, okay? So in order to claim self-defense, Holly must have believed that her or her son was in imminent danger or death or great bodily harm. Also, she must have believed the force she used was necessary to stop that danger to her or her child. If the jury believes that Holly's fear was reasonable, she must be found not guilty. If the fear was real but unreasonable, the charges becomes second degree, not first degree. It will automatically get knocked down from first degree to second degree if the jury come back and say, yeah, we do believe that you were scared, but what you did was unreasonable. If the jury believed the shooting was accidental or reckless, the charge becomes involuntary manslaughter, not first degree. Now, self-defense makes first degree murder much harder to prove, which means if the jury comes back and say, we believe Holly Johnson acts in self-defense, that's when everything else would be included, not just what happened that day. If the jury comes back and say, we believe Holly Johnson acted in self-defense, then the first degree murder charge and anything else will be thrown out the door. Okay? Now, why did the prosecutors wait so long? Why did they have to wait so long? Because we kept saying, it's been 2 months, it's been a month, it's been 2 months, it's been this, it's been that. In just a few days, 5 to be exact, right? It will be 3 months since this incident happened. Didn't it happen September the 8th? Or was it September the 11th? I think September the 8th. But in 5 days, it will be 3 months. So why did the prosecutors have to wait so long? Okay. Well, I'm going to give you a few reasons. One, they were waiting on the forensic results, the ballistic report, the gun distance, the trajectory, and the autopsy. Okay. Another one, witnesses changed. Okay. You had some say, oh, I don't want to do this. You know, I know I've spoken out and said this would happen, but I don't want to be involved. And then some witnesses that was not even identified came forward that nobody even know that they are witnesses. Okay. And then some witnesses changed their statements. They updated their statements. All right. But another reason why a prosecutor may have waited months is because of political pressure from protesters, petitioners, or even the media that do play a big role in this case. A lot of state attorneys, prosecutors, DAs, same people, they don't want to jump the gun. They don't like to overcharge, but they don't like to disregard a death or a family, right? They don't want to just leave a family in limbo like, there's nothing can be done about your child, right? But they also don't want to overcharge because they don't like to lose. But political pressure can cause a prosecutor to say, you know what? I'm not going to make this decision. I'm going to hand it over to the grand jury. I'm going to ask the grand jury, do they feel that this is a case and we should go forward with it? And the grand jury makes that decision. They come back with the, yes, we believe that this is a winnable case. And then the prosecutor will act accordingly. Okay. Another reason why the prosecutor may have waited months is because case reassignment. It could have been a new prosecutor or a supervisor assigned to the case. Another reason, digital evidence. We found out maybe a month or so ago that there are camera footage of what occurred. Okay. Now we don't know what views of the cameras and who all camera was involved. However, there is digital evidence, but not just the camera footage, phone records, text messages, social media accounts, because we heard throughout this case so far that it was restraining order put in place because of threats made, right? So they had to get all of that information before they could make a decision or move forward, right? And then I mentioned this, but let me go ahead again. Why prosecutors may have waited months because of the grand jury. The grand jury. If this went before the grand jury, which I'm sure we will find out, if it went before the grand jury, they have to deliberate, and sometimes it takes time, okay? So, but no official reason has been released. These are just different reasons why it could have waited this long, but no official reason has been released, meaning everybody is left in the dark. I'm left in the dark. You guys are left in the dark. The family was left in the dark. You heard the Tia Irwin. I hope I'm saying her name right, or Irwin. Let's just say Tia. You heard the reporters say that she's the one that reached out to the family to let the family know that Romeca was being charged, which means everybody was left out in the dark. They didn't even reach out to the family first, allegedly, right? If that report is factual, then everybody was left out in the dark. And this is why I am saying hashtag fair case for Holly for transparency. All right. Now let's talk about how the lesser charges work. Okay. How they can come into play. Even though the state did charge her with first degree, the jury may find her guilty on a lower charge. Okay. Let's talk about that for a minute. Second degree is given if the jury believes that Holly, they believe that Holly believes she needed to defend herself and her child, but the belief was unreasonable. If they downgrade it to second degree, because I just don't see a first degree charge. We'll talk about that in a minute though. But if it's downgraded to second degree, the penalties are 4 to 20 years, sometime probation. Okay. Involuntary manslaughter, if they believe it was involuntary, then it's given when the death was caused by reckless actions without intent to kill. The penalty is 2 to 5 years, sometimes probation. All right. Now, the judge decides which lesser charge the jury can consider. After everything, once they go to trial, once this goes to trial, after the prosecution argued their case, the defendant argued their case, then the judge will have to make the decision to the jury and say which lesser charge that they can consider. Okay. Now, if the judge says, I don't want a lesser charge considered, then the jury can only deliberate if this was first degree or not. So that is totally up to the judge. All right. That's not up to the prosecution. That's not up to the defendant. That is up to the judge. All right. Now, we heard the reporters say that Holly is due in court tomorrow at 11. Now, we know 2 different times. We've heard 9 o'clock and we heard 11 o'clock. Either way, she is due in court tomorrow. All right. I don't know which one is which. There's 2 times out there, 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. There's not a big difference. It's only 2 hours. So nevertheless, by noon, we should know something. Okay. Now, no cameras are allowed in court tomorrow. So we will have to wait on that information. But as soon as we find out the information of what's going to happen tomorrow or what happened tomorrow, whether or not she was given a bond or not, we will find that out tomorrow. But let's talk about what's going to happen tomorrow in court or what we expect to happen. Okay. So tomorrow hearing is called a bond pretrial detention hearing under the state of Illinois, the law. All right. Here's what will happen. The prosecutor will read or summarize the charges officially. They may outline part of their evidence. The judge decides if Holly will be detained with no bail or released with conditions. Okay. Also, tomorrow, the next court date will be given. Actually, it will be scheduled. Okay. The next court date will be scheduled. And Holly attorney may give an early response or statement to the public. Okay. This hearing will give basically the first hint of the state's theory. They're going to come out and say why they feel that this is first degree murder. All right. This will also give the first hint of how strong they think their evidence is and how aggressively they're pursuing this case. So we will find this out tomorrow. All right. Now, I already went over it with you guys. I know we have more people in here now than we did when I first said this. So let me just say this again. The hashtag fair case for Holly is really just mean that we're not going to assume anything over here. We're not about to have trial by social media. Okay. We're not about to jump to any conclusions. We're not about to react with our emotions over here. No one is guilty until proven innocent, no matter what type of law degree we think we have. Okay. And also the public deserves transparency on both sides, not just one. And the legal system must follow the facts. Again, like I said earlier, Holly deserved the same rights as Romeca. the same rights as Romeca. So the hashtag fair case for Holly, it does not mean Holly is automatically innocent, right? Because we don't know what they know. We don't know what they've seen. We don't know that. We don't know what evidence they really have, right? We don't know that. It does not mean that we're dragging Romeca nor Romeca's family, despite what any blogger out there say. We ain't even worried about them. If y'all want to know the facts and the truth, y'all come over here, okay? Because I'm going to keep it with you real. Transparency. We ain't beating around the bush over here, okay? And it does not mean that we're picking a side. The fair case for Holly is not picking a side. However, I do, and most people in here knows that I do not believe that this was a first-degree murder. I do not believe that whatsoever, okay? But I am the type person that I am very transparent and have no problem coming out and speaking what's real, what's true, okay? Now, with that being said, I will say I am shocked for the first-degree murder charge. And the reason being is because this is a hard charge to prove. We just saw a case with the pastor, the female that shot the pastor, right? She drove all the way to his home and the wife allowed her to come in. What was the young lady name again? Can somebody drop it in the chat? But she drove 3 hours to a pastor home and spoke with his wife, sat down on the couch and spoke with his wife. And when he said, "Can you see my wife? Can you see her out the door?" She turned around and shot the pastor, and she bought the weapon that morning. And she did not get charged with first degree. And you would think if somebody drove 3 hours to visit someone's home after purchasing a weapon that morning, you would think that they would be charged with first degree. First degree is hard to prove because you have to connect it with intents. What were the intents? Okay? What were the intents? Now, what we do know is we know that there was a restraining order. And like I said, the reporter got it wrong when she said that they attempted to serve Romeca but was not able to, right? That wasn't true. We all know that she was served and she was actually in court in June. And when I say in court, I don't mean like physically in the building, but she was on a Zoom court. So she very much knew that that there was a restraining order, that Holly had a restraining order on her. So we do know that there was a restraining order. We do know what was put in the restraining order, but we have no proof of that. Now, by Holly being charged and this case going forward, what are some of the things that we may see happen? Well, let me tell you. Everything that we don't know, like people going back and forth thinking, oh, there was no threats. Those threats are fake and they're just lies and she made it up. Well, we're about to find out. We are about to see the threats that was made on Holly and Holly's child. We're going to hear, I'm sure, testimony from the family saying whether or not did Holly call, excuse me, not Holly, I'm sorry, did Romeca call and make a threat to her? So all of this is about to come out. When I told you guys, I said, if Holly is charged, they will dissect both of these young ladies' life. And it is true. Everything is about to come out. We can sit all day, every day, and assume and say, this what happened, that's what happened. No, this didn't happen. No, that didn't happen. Well, guess what? We're about to find out. We're about to find out. The other young lady, someone jumped in my inbox to tell me that something similar happened to her by the hands of Romeca, but she didn't want to be harassed. So I didn't put it out. And I had asked her to come on my panel, and first she says no, and then she changed her mind and said, all right, I'll come. but I never even brung her on because I didn't want her to be harassed. I said, nah. I said to myself, nah, they're going to harass this young lady, and I don't want her to be harassed. So I didn't even let her come on my panel. And if she's listening to me, that's the reason why I didn't get back in contact with you, because I didn't want you to be harassed or whatnot. However, all of that's going to come out in court. That's going to come out in court. So the other restraining orders that people was like, oh, no, that wasn't real, this, that, and the other. If it was real, it's going to come out in court. I didn't see the other restraining order, but that doesn't mean it wasn't real. I don't know if it was or not, because I didn't get the other restraining order. I was just told about the other restraining order. But not even if, everything that is related to this case that could possibly help Holly or help the prosecutor is going to come out. Because the defense job is what? To defend their client. So they're going to go dumpster diving and find out everything that they can about Romeca and bring it forward. But just like I said, they're going to bring it out about Romeca. Anything that we have not heard of about Holly, whether she had some prior charges or something like this has happened in the past, that's going to come out as well. So, you know, this case is, in my opinion, is about to open up a large can of worms. And I just ask that you guys brace yourself, because things are going to come out that none of us know about. That none of us know about. The public does not know about. And we may not like it. We may not like what we hear. But it is a defense attorney's job to find out everything. Okay? Now, I don't know if they're going to release the tape tomorrow. I heard that it's 4 different angles of the cam. But I also heard that there is more footage than the pod camera, the police cam. Okay, I think there's businesses that may have picked up some things as well. That will come out if it's true. It will come out if it's true. Now, I am just praying for a fair case for Holly, because, and the reason why I say, well, a fair case all around, but a fair case for Holly because her life, her freedoms are on the line. This is no disregard to Romeca, rest in peace. But if Holly was acting in self-defense, and from my previous coverage of this case and breaking it down and what I have seen and my interpretation of the law, then I believe that she was acting in self-defense. However, I don't get paid the big bucks, and I don't have all the evidence. Okay? So once the evidence come out, we may find out some things that we don't know. It may be something out there. Right? But the things that we do know, there was a restraining order in place. Holly did have her child there. Holly had a right to be where she was. Right? And what we do know is Romeca pulled up on Holly. Romeca pulled up on them, not the other way around. We do know that. We do know that they were just putting the baby in the car, and Romeca pulled up on them. Now, what happened after that, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. If the judge allowed the case to go forward tomorrow, right, and he set a date, and they go to court, I don't know how long it's going to be. They may say, I mean, you know, some cases, you know, the defense attorney may say, I need time to get all my evidence. I need time to go and interview this person, interview that person, get this court record, get that court record, right? I need video footage. I need photos. I need this. So I'm sure that the defense is going to need some time to build a defense case. This is a murder trial. So I don't think it's going to be like, oh, tomorrow or next month. I think they're going to need some time to do their due diligence. Okay. But we'll find out tomorrow when, because I'm sure they're going to have to announce, like, they're going to make a schedule. And I'm sure whatever it is, they're going to have to agree on it. Okay. So we'll find out tomorrow when will we be seeing them go to court, how this trial is going to pop off. And we'll even find out tomorrow if they're going to keep Holly in custody or will she be released tomorrow after court. We don't know. We don't know. Okay. She said, I think the defense has been on the business. Okay, see that I don't know. I don't know who her attorney is. We'll find it out tomorrow as well. And once we find out the attorney, I will look the attorney up and let you guys know, what type of cases they've handled and the outcomes and things of that nature. Because I find that to be important. Okay. She said this should be interesting. This should be very interesting because, to be honest with you, you got two young ladies that has a baby by the same man that somehow got into a confrontation. Okay. Okay, so I just received something and it said, in Illinois, a defendant in a first-degree murder case can request a bench trial, a trial before a judge without a jury. Oh, okay, the decision rests solely with the defendant, who can waive their rights to a jury trial even over the prosecution's objection. The defendant must make the waiver of the jury trial knowingly and understandingly in open court. Okay, which means that if Holly family or Holly and her attorney don't think that they can get a fair trial by a jury, meaning that they don't think 12 jurors will be fair, then they can literally, hold on. Okay. I will later. I will when I get off. So, she can literally say, I don't want 12 people deciding my fate. I just want the judge, because the judge knows the law. And I want the judge to take into consideration all the evidence, all the witnesses' statement, digital evidence, forensic report, and everything, the evidence of stalking, the stalking TPO and all of that, right? And she can request that only the judge decide her fate, decide her freedoms. Okay. She has a right to do that. So she does not have to say, I want 12 jurors of my peers to decide my fate. Because someone asked earlier, do you think it can be 12 non-biased, or should I say, 12 non-biased jurors? Well, I don't know. I'm sure you can get 12, to be honest with you. However, it would be pretty tough because this case was national news, She said, I would request a bench trial if I were the defendant. Oh, you would? She said, it's always like that because Carlos was messed with both women. So I actually heard that was not true, but that's not my business to tell. I do believe that but I heard that was not true. But I'm sure he would clear his name eventually. She said they would never get 12 people to convict her. I would go with the jury. And you see how it's two people in here with two different things. You have one saying that they would do a 12 juries, and then you have another one say they would do a bench trial. She said, question, why would y'all think a bench trial is better than a jury? The only thing I could think of, the reason why they think that is because they feel that they cannot get a fair 12 people that will be non-biased. She said, I'm sure Carlos will have to testify. Yes, he's going to be considered a witness. I mean, he was there from the very beginning to the end. I think no jury because of the intent and how they broke the story. A mother shot while dropping a kid off. That stole people's heart. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's true with what you said. But to be honest with you, if I was Holly, I would not go with anything that the public is saying, to be honest with you. No public, no blogger, no reporter. I would go with what my attorneys say. Because you have to understand, the attorneys are the experienced ones. Those are the ones that have had these type of cases before. You understand what I'm saying? So I would 100% go with whatever my attorney recommend. I wouldn't even be listening to the public when it comes to my fate, you know? She said, hello, chat. Can we take a moment to allow the host to call Miss Hollywood? Let me see if she answer. Well, you know, you don't know. I may have already talked to her. How you feel? Anyway, she said, she needs to do the jury because she won't get it. Yeah, so that's going to be up to her lawyer. So we're not the lawyers. We're not the lawyer. She said, my cousin was charged with common law murder in Maryland for self-defense. He only did 5 years and he is at home now. Yeah, but you know, in a self-defense case, I mean, I don't think anybody should have to do no time for self-defense. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think anybody should have to do time if they were defending themselves. She said all her videos and the other content creators refused to play and was mad at Q about will be shown to the people and the jury that's never seen of Romeca stalking and bullying Carlos. Everything will have to go before the courts. They're going to see everything. They're going to see all the videos. They're going to see everything. They're going to see everything. They're going to see everything that has anything to do with this case. They're going to see it. And vice versa. Anything that they may have on Holly. They're going to see all of this. All this evidence is about to come out. All the evidence, whether people want to believe is true, whether people want to believe is AI, whether people want to believe is manipulated in any type of way, they are about to see everything. Everything will come out. We will find out exactly by the time this trial is over with, we will know so much about Holly and so much about Romeca. We will know everything. She says, so sad, 2 beautiful Black babies growing up without their mothers, possibly. Yeah, I mean, it's sad. It's sad that, you know, that this situation even had to happen. That's why I feel that if you are broken up with someone, it's move on. Like, why would you be angry with the new woman? We just spoke about that the other day, right? Why would you be angry about the new woman? Or why would the new woman be angry about the old woman? We literally just talked about that yesterday. We talked about that yesterday, where the lady Shanika, is that her name? Shakina flew from New York to Florida to unalive the new woman. Some people say the side chick, but whatever the case may be, the new woman in his life. And now she's spending the rest of her life in prison. I always say, don't go after the woman. Don't go after the woman. Don't go after the woman. Now, to be honest with you, I'm just going to say, if the relationship is over, whether you want it to be over or not, just move on. Move on. You know? She says, my point is, just because you're charged don't mean that you're going to do any time. God has the last say. Absolutely. God has the last say. People are charged all the time. Look at George Zimmerman. He was charged, right? He was charged. Look at Kyle Rittenhouse. He was charged, right? Even though my hearts are hearts, I just knew he was going down, George Zimmerman, but he didn't. Actually, I thought Kyle Rittenhouse was going down too, and he didn't, right? They were both charged with, I want to say, first degree. They were both charged with first degree and both found not guilty. So just because you're charged do not mean that you're going to be found guilty. She said, right, I hate to say that, but Romeca actions put everyone in a bad situation where she could have simply obeyed the law and not came for a mom with her infant. The defendants normally request a bench trial because judge understand and interpret the law better than a regular citizen. A judge knows if the charges and evidence align. So I guess you're answering why she should seek a trial by a judge, a bench trial, and not the jury. But to be honest with you, I literally would just talk to my attorney, and I would do whatever my attorney said. If my attorney said, yeah, let's do the jury, then we'll do the jury. But if my attorney say, no, let's do bench trial, then we'll do the bench trial. If I'm paying my attorney, I'm sure this is not going to be a cheap trial. So if I'm paying my attorney, then I want my attorney to give me the best advice ever. Just like y'all, when I went through my cancer, yeah, Jay was my fiance at the time. He was telling me one thing, don't get your breasts cut off. Don't do the surgery. But my doctor recommended it. So what am I going to go? You think I'm going to listen to my fiance over the doctor? No, I'm going with the doctor. I'm going with the doctor. He's the expertise, right? And that's why I'm here all these years later. Well, one of the reasons. Thank you, big sis Glenn. She said, let's pray for clarity and peace as Amoira present this story, free from confusion or turmoil. We hope our favorite blogger represented thoroughly and that our supporters remain level-headed and peaceful throughout. This is a murder trial that will stir raw emotions. Thank you so much, big sis Glenn. I do appreciate that. And yes, I want this to be more about facts, less about emotions, more about transparency. And I want it to be fair around the board. We have heard a lot of allegations. A lot of rumors have been put out here. A lot of confusion have been put out here. But we're about to find out for real. We're about to find out facts. We're about to find out what really happened on that day. Did this happen or did this happen? Did that happen or did that happen? We are about to find out. No more speculations. No more assumptions. No more reading people's mind. We're about to find out what really happened. I can't wait to see. And I don't even know if they will show the public the footage. But if they do, we will review it here. I can't wait to see the real evidence that they have. I can't wait to hear the prosecutor's statement, open statement. I can't wait to hear the defendant's open statement because we're going to break it all down here. Okay. So thank you, big sis. Rita said, this is definitely an overcharge. It almost feels as if the prosecutor knows that it will not stick, but did this to please the public and the family. So I have my thoughts on that. However, I literally would have to hear what the prosecutors say in order for me to be able to say that. But I will say sometime that happens. But I will say this also. If the prosecutor left this up to a grand jury, right, and allowed the grand jury to make that decision, then that takes it out of the prosecutor's hand, like as if he just made it all on his own. We don't even know if it went to grand jury, but we will find out. And if it did go to grand jury, then I think what would he say, 9 or however many people part of the grand jury, they made that decision to move it forward. So we have to find out, did the prosecutor do this on his own or did he take it before a grand juror? She says, Amoira, put Quadre on with you. Where is Quadre at? And why am I putting him on? Hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to assume in the next couple of days that I may have somebody, a guest speaker, come on, but I don't know yet. So I'll just say maybe, but I'll definitely let you guys know. She said, I think Chicago News comes on at 10. Maybe they'll have more info. I'm not sure. She said, this feels like the OJ trial. I was in court every day like I was a juror. Well, I'm definitely going to be getting daily updates as to, well, when I say daily, let me just say, I'm going to be giving updates as they come in. So as the updates come in or as I learn something that's factual, I will be putting it out there. Okay. But I would just ask for people, because I know people are going crazy, leaving derogatory comments up under people's videos and up under people's photos and Facebook pages and this, that, and the other. All I would say is hold your horses, because a charge is not a win, because that's not the end. So hold your horses. Just hold your horses. I guess if you want to look at it as is one step closer to the win, but it's not a secured win. So hold your horses. And when I say win, because no one wins, right? No one wins in this situation. No one wins, because that doesn't bring Romeca back. So it's not a win. It doesn't bring Lil Los mother back. So that's not a win. Don't take that as a win. This young fella lost his mom. So it won't be a win. Her getting arrested is not a win, right? However, this is a process. This will be a process. I actually think things are going to get a little ugly. So I would definitely brace myself for that. I do believe that things are going to get a little ugly. Things are going to come out. People are going to be outraged when they hear things, when things come out to be true, right? Or false. I think a lot of backpedaling is going to have to happen, but we'll have to see. She said yes, because yeah, that's true. That's true. Living under the threat of someone threatening to unalive you is a hard pill to swallow. So we're going to find all of that information out. If those threats are valid, which I don't see someone going to court with those many threats and they're not valid. So if those threats are valid, they're going to come out. They're going to come out. So the conspiracy theories or that didn't happen or this did happen or that's AI or that's fake and that's not real. We're about to find out what's really real. What's really real and what was a lie. That we're about to definitely separate facts from emotions. She said, Amoira, I heard people so happy because you lost and they won. Nothing about justice or the truth, just gaslighting. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say much about those people, because what did they win? Did they have $1 million or something? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's over my head. What did they win? What did they win? This case is this trial, if it goes to court, which it looks like it's going to court, this is a long road ahead. This is a long road ahead. And you know what? I will not be fighting with other bloggers over here. My interest is not whatever they say, to be honest with you, Christina, or anybody else. I don't care what none of these other bloggers say. I want to speak specifically about the case from the news, also from whatever we hear from the lawyers, if they're going to be speaking, So I want to get information from them, or even somebody if they're close to the family, but definitely not another blogger. Now, they might be over here listening to see what I got to say so they can run back to their channel and refute whatever I say. But baby, let them do that. I'm not doing that. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say, Thank you, Wayne and Quane. So again, what we know is the first degree charge she has been charged. Holly Johnson Quadesia has been charged with first degree. And we will find out more tomorrow. We will find out where things are going as of starting with tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get a schedule. We'll know what's going on. But like I said before, we definitely want to, ride this case out. There's a couple of cases that I want to follow, but this is definitely one of them. Definitely one. And let me just tell you my prayer, my hopes. If Holly is found not guilty, I pray that she's able to live her life peacefully without any regards of retaliation against her or her child or her family. So I just hope that people can handle the verdict once everything comes out and things move forward. I hope that people can say, you know what? Due diligence was done. It went before the court and everything came out. Everything was released and we accept this verdict, and vice versa. Vice versa. I hope everybody can live with, once everything comes out and everything, they go over everything. I hope that people can start living in peace. I don't think that, oh, if she's found guilty, I don't, I ain't gonna say want, because it's not about my wants, but hopefully people won't be tormenting the family after that, right? If she's found guilty, now they want to try to bring something down on the family, do some harm to the family and whatnot, right? Or vice versa, if she's found innocent. I hope they're like, oh, well, you're found innocent, but we're still going to retaliate. We're going to do this to you. We're going to do this to your family. We're going to do this to your child. I just hope that now that it is in the court's hand, right, that people allow the due diligence to be done. Let the case go. Let it work itself through. Let us find out. Let us find out, right? So we'll find that those out. She said, you can't lose in nothing you're not invested in. Just FYI, facts over feelings. Exactly. That's definitely an investment, Latricia. You know what I'm saying? Definitely an investment. Okay. So this is going to be an interesting case. I'm sure Holly is just, both of these young ladies are young. I want to say in their 30s, maybe 30, 31. I'm sure this is not the outcome Holly or her family wanted, for her to be charged with first degree. This puts a lot of stress on people and whatnot, right? And I'm sure this makes Romeca family relieved that the case has moved forward to a point where they feel that justice is right around the corner. So I'm sure this is stress for both families, right? The Romeca family, they're stressed, but I'm sure they feel relieved tonight. And I know the Holly family is going through a lot of stress on themselves. So my prayer goes out to both families. Both families. I really pray for both families, But both of these young ladies are young ladies. One, she lost her life, and Holly, I'm pretty sure people probably feel like she's about to lose her freedom. We don't know 100%, but from just what we do know, and from following the law, self-defense seems to be a good claim. If I was Holly, I would claim self-defense. Because if I'm minding my business and my stalker run up on me, yeah, I'm going to, I've already told y'all that I'm going to defend myself too, So let me read a couple of more comments. She said, unaliving someone is over extreme. She could have went to the car and stayed in the car with the door locked and called the police. See, we don't know that because we don't know what was said to her. We will find that out, though. We will find out, things that were said that may have made her not do that. We will find that out. We will absolutely find that out. So again, that's speculation. That's speculation to say, oh, she could have done that. She could have done that. We can say, I guarantee you, if we did we did a poll, we can come up with 1 million things that she could have or should have done, right? But we wasn't there. We wasn't in her shoes. We wasn't in her mind. We wasn't in her head. So we don't know. We don't know what we would. Sometimes we say, oh, you should have done that. You should have done that. You should have done this. But guess what? We don't know what we would have done unless we was in that situation. We don't know what we would have done. So I'm interested to hear what her lawyer has to say tomorrow. I'm sure her lawyer will probably make a small statement. Sometimes they don't say much. They just say, oh, things didn't happen like that. And the truth will be revealed in court or something like that. The same thing that the guy said about Carmelo Anthony. He didn't say much, but he said that we will find out the truth in court, She said, yes, Amoira, you don't know until you are faced with it. Exactly. So you know, we could say every day, all day, she should have done this. She should have called 911. She should have took off running. She should have got in her car and sped out. But guess what? We don't know what was said. We don't know if there was threats made if she got in the car. We don't know. We don't know. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Thank you, LaCondas. We're going to hear it. It's going to come out in court. She said, could have, should have. We are here to find out, not to speculate. That's why we are live. This is not that kind of live. Exactly. So now that there has been a charge, and now that they're saying that they have evidence, we are saying we want to see those evidence. We want to see the evidence. We want to see that. We want to hear the evidence. We want to see the evidence. We want to see the videos. We want to hear the statements. And then we're going to break them down from here, you know? Thank you, Jen Hen. Appreciate you, love. Said more, do you know if the court is open to the public? For tomorrow, I heard that there was no camera allowed in the court. So I don't know if that means it's not open to the public. I would think that it is. It's just a bond hearing, right? So I would think that it is. Hold on, let me just check though. Hold on 1 second. To the public. Okay, it said yes, bond hearings, which is the same thing as a pre-trial detention hearing in the state of Illinois, are public and open to courtroom unless there is a highly unusual circumstances requiring closure. Okay. So yes, it is open up to the public in the state of Illinois. It says the law requires public access, an open courtroom, open records, and that is to ensure fairness and accountability. So yes, it is open up to the courts. So anyone can attend, family members, supporters, reporters, and general public. But I don't think that they will be allowing the new, not the news, but they will not be allowing cameras in the courtroom tomorrow. But yes, so I'm sure some people in Chicago will probably attend this hearing tomorrow and blog about it. If I was in Chicago, I would go, but y'all, I ain't in Chicago. I'm not in Chicago, so yeah. She says, I may go. I want to hear myself. Also because I can never find court docs for Chicago online. Yeah, I don't know what it is about the court docs on Chicago, because girl, I tried myself and I couldn't find them either. Yeah, you're right about that. Chicago court documents, I don't know what the heck they got going on, you know? She said, you're right, Amoira. Hold on. You're right, Amoira, but Holly, in my opinion, didn't have to shoot her twice. But I know some people are trained to shoot and KI the threat. I'm sure so many things are about to be shown. Yes, and that's what we're going to be looking for. We're going to hear. We may even hear, I don't know if Holly will take the stand or not. We'll just have to find out. But we may hear what happened in Holly's own words. We may or may not, you know. But all of that will come out. All of that information will come out. I'm talking about from the time Romeca pulled up and what was said and, you know, what actions occurred. We will find out all of that. That's the beauty of evidence. That's the beauty of doing research and investigating. We'll find out all of that, you know? So we'll find out all of that. Now, I'm not going to say we're going to find out all of it tomorrow, right? But we will find out all of that. She said, my heart goes to the two children being affected by this, as well as mothers. One mother buried her child and the other mother doesn't know the fate of her child. Sad either way. It is sad either way. It's sad either way. It's sad that one young lady lost her life. And it's also sad that one young lady now has to fight for her freedom. It is sad all around. She says, I honestly think they would try to put Holly and Carlos against each other. I don't see that happening because for why? What would be the purpose? What would be the purpose of them trying to put them against each other? I don't see them trying to put them against each other. I don't see that. Is he still with Holly? Yes, they are in a relationship. They are in a relationship. They share a child together as well. She said, this is how you cover a story. Thank you so much, Lacondas. Appreciate you. She says, I think the prosecution is doing this for clarity so all evidence can be shown in court and publicly. I do too. I honestly believe that too, and I do believe that they do that sometimes. She said, you didn't see Holly going to jail either. It's funny. Yeah, no, I didn't see Holly going to jail. So this is a shock for me. I didn't, but let me take that back. I should say prison. No, I still don't see her going to prison. I still don't see her going to prison. So you got a while to come back and make that statement. Now, I always thought, well, let me take this back. I knew that there was a possibility that she may be charged. I knew it was a possibility. Of course, it's a possibility, but that doesn't mean that she will be found guilty. I don't think that she's going to prison, but that's just my thought. That's just my thought. And that's based on the law. That's based on my interpretation of the law. No, I do not think that she will go to prison. But if she goes, I will be the first to come out and say, wow, we missed something. So from what I know and from my interpretation of the law, no, I do not believe that she will be found guilty. So you may have to come back and redo your comment, sweetheart. Great live, Amoira. I like how you always break down the facts. Thank you so much, Angie. I appreciate you, love. She said Amoira has always said she could be charged. Let me tell you something. I feel like the family even knew that it's a possibility that she could be charged. I feel that it's a possibility that even Holly knew that she could be charged, hence why she got a lawyer. So of course, it was always a possibility, okay? However, charged and found guilty, I don't know if you guys know that, but that's two different things. Two different things, okay? She said she may be on the wrong live. Seem like people don't understand unbiased, facts-based lives. Jeez. Yeah, some people just like to be heard and they jump around in the chat, jump up and down because they just want a little attention. They're not getting the attention that they need, they're not getting the attention that they need at home. So they just come in the comments and jump up and down and do that. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. She said, girl, she don't need to say. You always just giving your opinion like everyone else. Yeah, I can give opinion, I can give opinion, but what I don't want to do is do no conspiracy theories and no off the wall and just listening to another content creator and just spread that. I don't want to do that. But again, I don't think that she will be found guilty now. And that's just based off of what I know now. But what did we say earlier? There's so many things that we don't know, right? Just the things that we do know. We know about the restraining order. We know she pulled up on her, right? We know that Holly has a license to carry. We know that Holly went before the court and told the court that she was basically in fear of her life because of all these threats. We know that. We know she had her child with her. So there are things that we do know, but what we don't know is quite a bit, right? We don't know what's on that tape. We don't know which witness is credible, right? We don't know those things. We don't know what happened right before she fired. We don't know those things. So there's a lot that we don't know that we are about to find out. We don't know the extent of Holly's background or the extent of Romeca's background, because just what we see, what they have on their record, There's other people that's going to come forth and say what type of experience they've had with Holly, what type of experience they've had with Romeca. So those are the things that we don't know. There's a lot that we don't know that we will still need to find out, you know? So this is not a cut and dry case. You know, it's absolutely not a cut and dry. You know, she said same thing happened with Susan. They let her go, then came back after investigation, and we all know she got 25 years. That was a little different, though. That was a little different. That was absolutely, and then that did not happen with Susan, Rika. I don't know. I know you probably got that information from someone else, but that's not what happened with Rika. Rika, they charged her within 4 days. 4 days they charged her. And you don't have to take my word. You can actually go and look it up. Okay. They charged her in 4 days. So it's not the same thing that happened with Susan. 4 days and almost 3 months is a big difference. Big difference. Big difference, you know? Okay. So again, she says, even though she's been charged, she still is innocent until proven guilty. That is true. And that is an American thing, not just a Holly or a Susie or anybody else. That is in America. You are innocent until proven guilty, not charged, but you are innocent until proven guilty. And that is something that we need to continue to talk about. Okay. She says, I watched the documentary. Well, if you watched the documentary, then you should know that it was just 4 days after the shooting that she was charged with that. Okay. 4 days. So I'm sure that if you watched it, you received that information just like everybody else that watched it. Okay. She said, I was told by a police officer that because you have a license to carry, it's still a gray area where you can go to jail if you pull that trigger. Well, I mean, of course. Yeah. Of course. Just because you have a license to carry don't mean that you could just go and pop somebody. That's common sense. Of course. Yeah. Every situation has a different, every situation requires a different reaction and will be looked at differently. No, I don't think there's one case that mirrors another case, right? Right. But a first degree murder charge have to show that's something that you intended to do. Okay. And what I do know is if someone, and I don't even know why this hasn't even come out yet, but it will. But if someone is in violation of a crime, right? Then if someone is in violation of a crime and they approach you, meaning that they're in violation of a crime, then I think that overrides a first degree. But let me do a little bit more research. But I want to say it eliminates first degree automatically when someone else is in violation of a crime. Okay. So we'll find out, though. We would definitely find out. We would definitely find out. She said time depends on investigation. Some take longer. Okay. She said, why are people trying to fight about this? None of us are the judge and the jury. Well, I think it's because initially, when I came out or whatever, my stance was basically Holly defended herself, and I still feel like she defended herself. But to be honest with you, right now is not even about if she defended herself. I still believe that she defended herself. But right now, we're about to find out all the facts. All the facts. We're about to find out what really happened on this day. Did Romeca pull up? Did Romeca make these threats? Did Romeca approach her? Did Romeca try to attack her? We're about to find all of this out. Now, it's going to be some people that's not going to want to believe what comes out in court. But, they're going to have to learn how to process that on their own. So why did she go get her gun? We'll find out, I'm sure, during the trial. So stick around, stick around, stick around. We're not about, listen, the fact that she got charged and everything is about to come out, we're not going to play the case out on live stream. We're not about to play the case out here. We're about to be able to report the facts. That's the great thing about this. So your question may be premature. Why did she go get her gun? Guess what? We're about to find out. But I'm going to say she grabbed her gun off her waist to protect herself. That's what I'm going to say. She grabbed her gun off of her waist to protect herself. People need to understand everyone is not agreeing with one side, but if you don't agree with them, it's a problem. No, it's not a problem. We'll be fine. She said, it seems like everybody changing their stance and catering to Romeca family. They done wish death on this girl and her family, all types of disrespectful stuff, but people got to watch what they say. I'm not understanding what you mean when you say that, Bright Eyes. When you say it seems like everybody is changing their stance and catering to Romeca family. What do you mean by that? Everybody is catering to Romeca family. I don't think anybody is happy that Romeca lost her life. I don't think not one person is happy that Romeca lost her life. I mean, if it is, I don't know who that person is. I don't know anybody that's happy that Romeca lost her life. But I also believe that a lot of people are not understanding that you have a right to defend yourself if you feel that you are in imminent danger. And if your child is in imminent danger, you do have a right to defend yourself. But we don't know all the facts and we don't know all the evidence. We only know what was put out here. So I'm assuming that the detectives know more than we do, or that this charge was an overcharge to just, go to court and allow the judge and the jury to make their decision. Okay. So I don't think that this is going to be a cut and dry case. I think a lot's going to come out. We're going to find out a lot. And I just think that, you should stick around and listen to what comes out. The things that I say and another blogger say on their panel, a lot of it is probably speculation. That's why I tried to steer more toward the law. This is what the law says. This is what the law states. This is what the law states, right? So I tried to steer more toward that. And from what was known and what the law says, I feel that it is self-defense. Okay. All right. She said, I feel like Holly wasn't defending herself. I feel she jumped the gun and shot that girl. And again, Jeds, I think that's your name, Jed Yeezy Slides. That's a feeling. See, we're not focusing on feelings over here. We're focusing on facts. That's why I put on here facts only. You see how I have facts only? See, we're not focusing on feeling, because if we focus on feeling, we may get steered in the wrong direction. So we're only focusing on facts. Feelings don't secure a guilty verdict. Only facts. Only facts. So we don't know. We don't know. Again, what we do know is Holly is innocent until proven guilty. She's innocent until proven guilty. She said Rachel is no longer justice for Romeca, is more proven, more wrong. Yeah, I noticed that, but that's only a few bloggers, because they have a fixation. She said, we all just have to see what happens. We are all entitled to our opinion. No one wins. That's absolutely true, Lacondas. That's absolutely true, Recondas. She said, I get what Bright Eyes to you is saying. Is all over social media, and I'm seeing more than before. Oh, you mean more people are on Romeca, on justice for Romeca since the charges has been dropped? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Let me know. She says with them charging her with first degree murder, they are going to have to prove that it was premeditated. I wonder what made them charge her with first degree. So I think you wasn't in here earlier, Val. I actually found that to be not true. In the state of Illinois, you do not have to prove premeditation, but you do have to prove intent. So premeditation does not have to be proven in the state of Illinois. They still got to prove intent, but definitely not premeditated. She said Romeca was unarmed and shot in the face, first degree murder. I look forward to seeing their evidence. Yes, me too. I look forward to seeing their evidence as well, because first degree is, in my opinion, is overreach. I don't think it matters where you were shot, because if somebody coming toward you, if Romeca was coming toward her, let me just say that if Romeca was advancing toward her, I don't think you can try to tell a bullet where to go. She said, Amoira, you are doing so good responding, because these comments got me yelling at my phone, baby. Yeah, no, I said I don't want to cover the case yelling and screaming and cussing people out. I want to cover this case fairly and transparently, and without all these emotions in it and this, that, and the other. So I don't want to do that. We started off, in my opinion, on a bad foot with this case, but I want to definitely, that's why I asked my supporters earlier. I said, pray for me that, I can deliver this with transparency and truth and facts, not emotions, not overly invested. I want to be able to do this in truth. So that's why I'm asking you guys to help me out as well. She said, yes, Amoira name goes on a community wall whenever she goes live, no matter what she talks about. Yeah, that's true. She says, I'm sorry, but shooting someone 4 times is not self-defense. The other lady did not have a gun. Yeah, she wasn't shot 4 times, Sweet Pea, but that came out in the the autopsy report. She was only shot twice. She said, we will help Amoira stand strong and deliver the facts. Thank you so much, LaCondace. Thank you. She says, okay, let me shut up and stop listening to social media. Yeah, sometimes we can listen to things that's just not true. And that's why I said over here, it's going to be transparency and facts, and not just somebody pulling something out of the air or just listening to another content creator that has intentions behind it. She said, whatever happened to just a plain fight? Why she had to pull a gun? We're going to find that out in court, why she decided to pull a weapon instead of fighting. But a lot of people don't fight no more. A lot of people don't want to rumble on the ground and roll all on the ground. And she also had a 6-month-old in the car. So she's a mother, and every mother doesn't want to have to fight someone, especially when they have their baby right there. But we'll find out from her directly why she decided to protect herself and not get involved in a physical fight. There are babies involved. No one wins. We don't know the truth, but God does. Yep. And hopefully we'll find out more of the truth during this trial. We'll find out everything. She said they are listening to content creators that are listening to content creators with no receipts, just opinion. Yeah, that's how it goes most of the time. A lot of people don't know. They don't do research on their own. They don't search for the truth. They just go and listen to another content creator just so they can repeat or regurgitate exactly what that content creator said. She said, Amoira is doing a great job breaking this case down. Thank you so much. She said, maybe she'll get second degree later. We'll see. Yeah, we'll just see. But if she is self-defense, I don't even think that she'll get second degree if it's a true self-defense. She says, I ain't fighting nobody. Neither am I. Neither am I. I'm not going to start nothing with you, right? But I'm not about to fight you either. Mm-mm. Yeah, so with that being said, I think I answered a lot of questions. I know I didn't answer all of them, but I did answer a lot of them. And but for right now, that's all we have. Like she's been she's in custody. She goes to court tomorrow. And we don't know if the judge is going to allow her out tomorrow, but I think he will based on her background. But I don't know because I don't know how that works. It's totally up to the judge tomorrow and what the prosecutors say versus what the defendant a lawyer says, the defense attorney says. Okay. She says, no one has to fight anymore. Are y'all serious? That's the most ghetto thing I've ever heard. She says, I tried being good, Amoira. Oh, you okay? She says, I heard a content creator, well, not a content creator, say he don't dig deep on stories. Those are the ones I wouldn't even follow for some facts. Oh, will you go live after court? As soon as I get new information, I will update you guys as soon as I get it. So, yes, since I will be covering this story, I will go live different times of the day to give different updates. And when the trial starts, if it's going to be a trial, unless the judge throw this shit out tomorrow, but if there's going to be a trial, which it does look like it will be, I will be going live more often as things is put out. She says, if you're not planning on fighting, then you are saying you do the crime, you do the time. If you're guilty, then I think you should do the crime. But you should do the time. But self-defense is not a crime. So if you're guilty, if she's found to be guilty, yes, she would have to do the time, sweet pea, if that's what you're sweetie, I'm sorry. Excuse me, sweetie. If she's found guilty, then yes, she would have to do the time. What would be the reason they would not allow someone bond? And do you think they'll give Holly a bond? So that is totally up to the judge, and it depends on prior charges on your records, or sometime a judge may keep you if they feel that your safety is in jeopardy. But 9 times out of 10, if she has a pretty clean record, then they will grant her a bond. They will allow her out. You know, I think I looked that up. Let me go look because I did look up the bond. Let me tell you exactly what they say. But it will be up to the judge whether she get bonded out tomorrow. But let me look. I think I did. I have the exact words. I just have to see where did I put it. But that's a good question. Here, let me just ask it again. So on first degree, so first degree in the state of Illinois is a detainable offense, okay? So the prosecutor will push hard for her to stay detained and not released. However, she still has a chance to be released, especially Well, it's going to be up to the judge, but if the judge may release her if they expect if they feel like the case is weak, right? Or if they feel like let me just read what it says. It says, if the evidence is weak or unclear, the judge may release her with conditions. If the judge does release her, expect she will have electronic monitoring, no weapon, no contact order, mental health check-ins, and movement restrictions. However, first degree is automatically considered detainable. Prosecutors will push hard for that. If the case is considered high profile, the judges, they lean toward the caution that we don't want to release her because of public pressure. Or if the prosecutor claim intent or execution style shooting, any language like that increases detention chances, meaning that she will stay locked up. But the judge could grant release if she turned herself in and cooperated with the authorities, if she didn't flee the first time, okay? They could also grant release if she have a child and has strong ties to the community and not considered a flight risk. If they present a self-defense argument, so if the case shows any sign of mutual conflict or defending her child, the judge leaned toward releasing pending the trial. She was originally released after the shooting. That means the police didn't see her as immediate danger at any time. The prosecutors waited months. This suggests that there was no urgent threat, no ongoing danger, no crime since the incident. So the judge could consider that. The judge could say, it's been almost 3 months since the incident and she hasn't fled. She hasn't gotten in any type of trouble. Nobody else has been a threat out there. No one else has been unalive. So they could release her, or they may keep her. So we don't know until tomorrow. We won't know until tomorrow. We won't know until tomorrow. Okay. We won't know, but I'll let you know when I find out. I'll let you know when I find out. Okay. She says only 2 people are allowed in bond court, family or friend per inmate. Is that true? Let me look it up. Let's find out. Let's find out. Let's find out. So it says, there is no limit on how many people are allowed. So, but there are limited seating, but there is no limit on how many families or friends she can have there. Just cameras are not allowed. So no recording, no photos, no social media use inside the courts, but there is no limit how many relatives can pull up. So I'm not sure where you got that from, but that is untrue. She said, we need an early live. As soon as I find out some information, I promise I will come out here and let you guys know. As soon as I find out some information, I will definitely let you guys know. All right. She said, you can have $1 million. Illinois is a no bond state. Okay, well, we'll find out tomorrow, baby. We will find out tomorrow. I just looked it up again. And it says Illinois is not a no bond state. Illinois is a no cash bond state, which is a huge difference. Okay. Illinois ended a cash bail, meaning that you can't pay money to get out of jail, but you can still be released and judges can still detain people with no release at all. Okay, so Illinois switched from a money-based system to a risk-based system. So that is not true that Illinois is a no bond state. It is no cash bond state, which means that she can still be released if the judge decides. Okay, it's not a no bond, it's a no cash bond. It's all relies on the judge. It's a difference. She says all that dirty money folks were using to pay for bonds. Yeah, it's a no cash bond. She says, I'm not throwing hands either, especially with my child in tow. So I'm always carrying. Chicago works behind the glass. They be on TV with the judge. It's a bunch of inmates in that room. We want you to bring the breaking news or more alert. Yeah. So as soon as I get it, I will let you guys know. See, that's the thing. What I'm not going to do, I'm not going to cater to people's feelings and just come out here and just speak things that I heard without it being true. I am a researcher by nature. I'm going to look it up before, I just come out here and say it. So just know that if you do say it, and if I'm not sure of the answer, I will look it up for you. Okay. I will look it up for you. All right. She said, it's the one spreading false statements that gets me. And I think it's just because they just don't know. They may have listened to someone else say that and they took it and ran with it instead of looking it up. And I'm just going to be the one over here that I'm going to definitely fact check everything before I just spit it out of my mouth. So I'm not just going to take it. I'm actually going to look it up. All right. She said, we would definitely see tomorrow. Yes, we will. She said she will most likely be released on a house arrest tomorrow. We will find out. And I will definitely let you guys know either way. She said, that's why we love you. Thank you so much. She said, thank you for the clarification. You are so welcome. Yeah. So again, yeah, I'm not going to be just spitting out things just to get people riled up. That's just not what you're going to get over here. You're going to get the truth. Okay, so after you have listened to everybody else, and I'm not saying nobody else is going to bring the truth, because I'm sure there's other bloggers out there that's only going to bring the truth, but the truth would definitely be brought over here. Okay, definitely brought. You don't have to worry about me just listening to somebody and running with it, because that's how we get things wrong. We get things wrong. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to research it, and then I'm going to let you know what's facts and what's not facts. Okay. So that's what we're going to do over here. She said, I advise everyone to look up stuff before speaking. I mean, that would be great, but that's why they got a lot of unread books out there. She said, Amoira, you are so amazing with so much patience. Thank you so much. I can be patient at times, and sometimes I'll just be like, hell no, I'm just going to go off. But I'm not going to do that in this case. I want this to be done professionally. And, so that everybody, not just justice for, or should I say fair case for Holly, but also for even justice for Romeca. I want them to know the truth. I don't want them to just be running around from chat to chat, just spreading all type of lies. I don't want that to happen. I want them to know the truth. I want them to know the truth so that, whatever the outcome is, they'll see why, She said, that's why I roll with you. Thank you. She said, Amoira always come with facts. Thank you so much. Great, a lot more. Thank you. Okay, so we're about to close out. I do appreciate everybody that pulled up. Again, this was breaking news about 4 or 5 hours ago, right? From Fox 32 that that Holly was charged with first-degree murder for unaliving Romeca on that September day. Okay. Now, again, we don't know, but we will find out going forward how this case is going to play out. All right. Again, hashtag fair case for Holly. That's all we can really ask for, is a fair case. Everybody in America is innocent until, excuse me, until proven guilty. Excuse me, hold on. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. I would just ask that we have patience and allow things, the unanswered questions that we have, like the young lady said, well, why did she go to her car and pull out her weapon? Well, we already said on the channel here that it was said that she did not go to her car. She pulled a weapon from her waist. And I'm sure we will hear that again in court, that she pulled it from her waist. She always carry. So she pulled the weapon from her waist. She did not go to her car. Okay. So we'll find out those things as time goes on. And I just ask for patience. There's a lot of questions that we don't know answers to that I do believe that we're going to get answers to. And as we get those answers, I will be glad to discuss it here on Talk About It with Amoira. Okay. So if you are not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe, be locked in, because I will be carrying this case all the way out. If she's found innocent or justified, I don't even want to say innocent, I'm going to say justified in what occurred, we will announce it here. And if she's found guilty for what occurred, we will also announce it here, and we will carry it all the way out to sentencing day. If that's, you know, if she's going to be sentenced with something. Okay. I'm going to be fair around the board. Okay. Fair around the board. All right. All right. So, she says, Bran, we'll see if she'll be sitting, and I hope not either, especially knowing she has a child. She said, the way you are handling this chat is going to bring you more subscribers, and that's gold to grow your page. Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you so much. Yes, so if you're new here, just hit that subscribe button for your girl. And I am going to be talking to you guys tomorrow as soon as I find out something, whether she gets a bond or whether they're going to keep her detained. But either way, yeah, I'll come out and let you guys know. So thank you guys so much for being an amazing audience. Even if you don't agree, if we don't agree, we still can come in here and speak like grown adults. And that's what I'm going to continue to push over here through this whole case, because, you know, it is an emotional case, but we want to talk facts over here. All right. So thank you, Kim. I appreciate the love. Candy, Lashina, you tried it. Facts over feelings over here. Binky Bink, Rita. This is definitely an overcharge. It almost feels as if the prosecutor knows that it will not stick, but did it to please the public and the family. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Rita. Thank you, Lacondis. Jen Hen, 12K got a match. I'm so proud of you. You did your thing. Thank you so much. Perky, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Angela, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. Again, hit that thumbs up button on the way out. She said, please don't forget to go live. We are on this with you. I promise you, I'm going to go live for you guys. Okay. Even if somebody is live that I support, I love them, but this is going to be news breaking or whatever. So I'm definitely going to stay on top of this. And I promise I will go live as soon as I find out the information. Y'all have my word. Okay. All right. Hit that thumbs up button, and you guys have a good night. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow morning or tomorrow midday, because, you know, we may not find out anything until after 12 or something like that. So as soon as we find out something, and if it is morning, as soon as we find out, we will definitely let you guys know. All right. Have a good night. Love y'all.
Because they can't make a dollar without mentioning down one of our names.
Jay! She kept talking about that family.
Hoes over there.
She kept talking about that family. 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 That family. She kept talking about that family. Talking about that family.
These motherfuckers don't be wanting to bless no damn. Because they can't make a dollar without mentioning down one of our names.
Talking about it. That family. That family. That family.
Jay!
That family. That family. Talking about it.
Dollar.
Talking about Amoira.